This is a full video ship tour of the Norwegian Epic in 2024. A ship that, well, let's just say needs some work. We're going to take you on a full tour of every public area, starting on deck number 5, where we're walking through the art gallery. Now, this is a different one, isn't it, David? Because it's quite big.
It is quite big, and it's in a little bit of a strange position. It's kind of in the middle of the ship on a main walkway. So you always end up walking through the art gallery to get to some other areas of the ship.
Yeah, while we're going through the art gallery, we come up into the photo shop. Now, this is where you have a look at all of the photos that the ship's photographers have taken. Now, it's a bit of a strange one as well and quite old-fashioned because look at this. These are all actual printouts. So every single photo that's taken on board, they print out. So people who don't buy it, well, it's just a huge waste. You also have a little games room opposite as well, which is nice, where you can play cards and things like that with your friends.
And then just down this corridor, there is the library, which is also where you get your internet sorted out. So this is if you have any problems with your internet account. Got to say, though, there was always quite a large queue here.
Now, coming up just on this side is one of the specialty restaurants. So this is one that you have to pay for. This is the French restaurant Le Bistrot. Now, we've eaten here a few times. We didn't eat here on this ship, but it is a really nice restaurant. So we do recommend purchasing the specialty restaurant packages if you could afford them, just because they are quite good and the food is excellent. Obviously, being a French restaurant, you're going to have French food. And the surroundings and theming here is quite nice as well. It's one of the nicer venues, and we do appreciate all of those windows around. So it's a great time to come for dinner, say at sunset.
You do need to make a reservation at that restaurant, and you can do that before your cruise or on the app. Okay, so we're coming up to the centre of the ship, and this is the main atrium space. Now, this actually gets overlooked by the bar upstairs, which we'll come to shortly. And they do presentations in here, game shows, they show movies, and also live music.
If you've been on sort of the Norwegian Bliss, Norwegian Getaway, or the Escape or Breakaway, it's very similar layout. On the opposite side, you've got things like the Shore Excursions desk. You've got the desk for cruise loyalty, so the Cruise Next desk if you want to book a future cruise as well. And you've also got guest services. So if you have any issues at all, this is the place to come to tell them if you need something fixing or something isn't right. Come immediately here and hopefully they'll sort you out. Just opposite is Starbucks. Obviously the Starbucks on board here, it is an extra charge as well, so this isn't included in the drinks package. They've also got some really cool things that we really love, the mugs. They have mugs from all of the different ships, including the Norwegian Epic, which is awesome.
And then just behind Starbucks is the bar for the atrium. Now, as we're moving along this deck, we're coming up to Taste. Now, this is one of the main dining rooms, and that means that it's included in the price of your cruise. It isn't an extra charge. This is quite a large one. It's actually overlooked by 2 decks above, which, while it looks lovely, is a little bit strange because the deck above is the casino, which we'll show you shortly.
Yeah, so overall it is quite a nice restaurant, nice and open, and it's sort of themed over Gaudi, like the Sagrada Familia with all of those stained glass windows and sculpture-like things all around. So the theming is quite nice. It is quite dark, however. One thing that we noticed about the Norwegian Epic in general, you can't really tell on video because we brightened everything to make it look nice and sort of great on camera, but it is quite a dark ship inside, it really is.
Now, this restaurant you can book, and we do strongly recommend you make a reservation. Again, you can do that on the app or by contacting guest services. And that is the same for all the main dining rooms.
Now we're going to head up to deck number 6. These hallways are quite bright, and here we have another of the main dining rooms. This is the Manhattan room. It's a really lovely room, and some evenings you get live entertainment as well. It looks at the very back of the ship, so you get some great views. Just looking up those windows to the left and right, they're actually the specialty restaurants that we're going to have a look at in just a few moments. Now we're going to head into the main deck. There's a bar in the middle, which is one of the casino bars, and this is the start of the casino, and let me tell you, it's huge. Just off of the casino, however, you've got the Cavern Club Liverpool, which is modelled after the club in Liverpool, obviously famous by the Beatles, and it is quite a nice space, just very, very small.
And it does get quite busy in here as well, so if you want to see any of the shows, Usually it is a Beatles tribute act. You do need to come early to grab yourself a seat.
And this is another thing that we're seeing and that we saw about the Norwegian Epic, is that some of the venues are very, very small. I mean, there must be 150, maybe 200 seats in here and space for maybe 300 on a ship that holds over 4,000. So like David said, if you want to see this entertainment, you're going to need to get there really early, or it's going to be standing room only. And even on a few times on our cruise, we saw it closed off because it was at capacity 10-15 minutes before it started. So do keep that in mind. Now back into the main deck area through parts of the casino as well. We're just going through to the Shanghai Noodle Bar. So this is a complimentary venue. Again, you have to book this. So it's kind of a bar and a restaurant. So like a main dining room, but it serves Asian inspired food like Chinese and Thai and things like that. And the food here is pretty good. Again, the theming is quite nice, and it's because you've got those windows, which are really lovely as well. We do love a window on a cruise ship, don't we, David?
We do, because you are at sea and you want to see the ocean. Unfortunately, newer cruise ships tend to lack them, but we love to see windows on cruise ships.
So like we said about the casino, guys, it's bloody massive. It takes up the whole of deck 6, basically. It goes throughout the whole of the ship. Now, I'm not sure if it was smoking or not, but we did smell smoke in this area as well. So if you don't like that, it's not going to be a great space. And because it's quite open here in the middle as well, the smoke will sort of go from deck to deck as well. But we just can't believe how big it is. Oh, hey everybody, let me tell you about a game that I've been loving lately. It's called June's Journey. Now, it's the perfect way to unwind and get a little escape from reality. Imagine this, you're diving into the glamour of the 1920s, solving a thrilling murder mystery and exploring beautiful, vibrant scenes filled with hidden objects. And let me tell you, every scene pulls you further into this intriguing story. I love playing this game when I need a little downtime. It's just the right mix of challenge and relaxation. It's my go-to for some me time. So if you're like me and enjoy a good mystery and a bit of fun problem solving, June's Journey is definitely worth checking out. It's free to download and you can start your journey today. Just click the link in the description section below or scan the QR code on screen to download June's Journey for free. It's available on Android, iOS, and even on the PC through Facebook Games. Trust me, you'll love it. Happy exploring, everyone. Now, again, we're looking down at one of the main dining rooms, Taste, that we just took a look at. And here you can see sort of the expansive area. It's very pretty. We do like the chandeliers and things, don't we? The bit of bling.
Yes, we do. And again, we're going through the remainder of the casino, because this casino never seems to end. It does feel like you've got to always walk through something to get somewhere else on this ship. So rather than there being a dedicated casino space, it's kind of just the corridor between the different venues where they've put all the different machines.
Yeah, and don't be mistaken, guys, it does look like you've been transferred back to the 90s. There's just escalators on either side there as well, which go to the deck below, which is pretty cool. You don't see many escalators on cruise ships, but it does look a bit Sister Act era, doesn't it? Maybe Reno back in the 90s, because this ship does look a little bit dated. She's very yellow, red, very bright and colourful. Not what modern ships are like nowadays. She really is desperate for a makeover. She's due to have one in 2025, which she is desperate for because it's been put off a few times. But anyway, we're in the middle of the ship again at O'Shea's Bar and Grill.
Now, this is a popular choice because the food here is complimentary. So it's a la carte food. You can grab yourself breakfast, lunch, and all-day snacks as well. They do things like chicken wings, nachos, sort of like pub food. It's always lively in here as well, and you can actually hear the entertainment that's going on below in the atrium.
All of the things like pool in these games are all extra pay, unfortunately, so you do have to pay for them. But like David said, we really do like O'Shea's. The food here is really good, just really quick. And the fact that it's open 24 hours a day really is good, because it just means you can get food no matter what time of day it is. Because on some cruise ships, unfortunately, things close at 10 p.m. So if you're having a late night out enjoying a few drinks or a bit of trivia or a show, there really isn't much to eat apart from room service, and that's charged extra on most cruise ships, including Norwegian. But it's a big space with a big seating area than the more informal bar area. Just off here as well, you'll find the bowling alley as well. This is an extra charge. It doesn't look quite full size. It's almost there. And we never saw it being used at all, did we?
No, we never saw people using the bowling alley, so we don't know if it was not working on our cruise or people just didn't want to pay extra for it.
Anyway, we're heading towards the front of the ship now on deck number 6. On the right-hand side, you've got the Headliners Comedy Club. Oh gosh, just look at that font, David. It's terrible. It's one of those free fonts.
Comic Sans.
Yeah, oh, well, I guess that works. It's a little bit of a bigger space, actually. It's a much bigger comedy club than they do have on their new ships, like the Prima, Viva and Aqua. It definitely is bigger, so there is a little bit more space on here. But the comedy is very good on Norwegian Cruise Line, so do get there nice and early if you want to go to it.
Now again, we're coming to another one of those areas that's sort of an entranceway, but it's also the hallway and another desk. This was the box office desk, but again, it was kind of used for various things. Most of the time, it wasn't really open.
Now, something a little bit unusual is the Spiegel tent. Now, yes, this is another entertainment venue. They did used to have a dinner show in here, which involved like circus and acrobatics, but that doesn't happen anymore. So during our cruise, they were using it sort of as an extra entertainment venue. I mean, it's pretty cool, guys. It's like a circular venue with seating over 2 floors. Again, it's quite small, so things that were held in here got very busy indeed. We saw they held smaller musical performances and things like that, but we did find a lack of entertainment on board because some of the big shows have been taken off, like this one, for instance. But yeah, it's a strange little venue located at the very front of the ship, and that's right next to the Epic Theatre.
Now, this is the main theatre on board, and Ben just touched on it there. They used to have full West End or Broadway productions, but unfortunately not anymore. Now, on our cruise, it was just Burn the Floor and a couple of music acts, but it was very lacking. Actually, some days there was nothing going on in here, which is such a shame.
Yeah, apart from that one show, the entertainment was genuinely quite terrible. We missed the shows that used to be on this ship, like Legally Blonde and Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. They've all been removed since COVID, which really sucks, guys, because Norwegian used to have some of the best entertainment. Anyway, up to deck number 7.
And this is the Bliss Ultra Lounge. Very, very mysterious there, Ben. This is the nightclub on board. During the day, families are welcome in here, but on an evening, it is for adults only. And as the name suggests, this is the nightclub, but they also held quizzes in here and live entertainment as well.
One of the good things about this venue is that it is quite big. There is plenty of room in here. We saw live bands and things like that on in here. We even saw a comedian in here as well. They had a couple of comedians on our cruise, but it's a nice big space on deck 7 at the very front of the ship. Anyway, we're going back into that little area where the elevators are. As you can see, it's quite strange. They don't have the 2 separate elevators. It's all very much open, which is pretty cool. One thing that we noticed as well is that the ceilings are really, really low down, so it feels quite cramped. And because of all of those dark colours, it does feel a little bit dated. We're hoping, like we said, to see some big improvements in 2025. But this is a bit of an odd space. It's kind of just a hallway that goes on and on and on with some strange views and some shops around the region as well. So it looked a little bit like a ferry, didn't it, with all of the shops?
Yeah, this area was always quiet because there wasn't really that many people in the shops, and they are absolutely huge. So much of this space has been given over to retail, and it was never busy.
I don't know, there's just something about this ship that's a little bit underwhelming. We're really sorry if you have booked this, because we're not trying to put you off, and you can have an amazing time anyway, but the ship itself just feels, I don't know, it feels circa ferry from the UK, from Southampton to France or something. It doesn't have the sort of feel that the other Norwegian ships have.
Again, along the corridor, even more shops. It's all your usual shops, so duty-free, watches, merchandise, beauty products, all the same things that you find on every cruise ship.
Now, top tip, you might be thinking that, oh, it's going to be so cheap because it's duty-free. Don't fall for it, guys. Make sure you check on Amazon or local shops to see what the price is where you live or online, just to make sure that the watch you're going to buy is a good price, the perfume you're going to buy is a good price. Just always double check. It's my top tip, just to ensure that you're not getting ripped off.
But also, if you do have onboard credit, which a lot of people do, make sure you do spend it, and you can spend it in the shops.
Anyway, just on the right-hand side is something quite unique. It's actually on a few Norwegian ships. It's the Sky Vodka Ice Bar. Now, it is an extra charge to come in here, and you get kind of a cocktail in a piece of glass, which is made out of ice. It is a cool thing to do, but it is a one and done once you've done it. You've also got a little bar here as well, which is quite small, but it's got some nice windows looking outside as well.
They also had live entertainment in here, but like Ben said, it was quite small, and particularly before dinner, this area got extremely busy, and it was very hard to find a seat. Just opposite the way is another specialty restaurant, and this is Wasabi. Now, this is kind of like a two-part restaurant. One part is teppanyaki, which is what you can see here, and this is where they cook in front of you. You all sit around the table there, and a chef comes out and makes jokes and does a little show for you. And then you also have the sushi bar, which is just next door, where you can sit at these tables and enjoy some sushi.
We ate here as well in the sushi bar part, and it was actually very good indeed. The food was very tasty and the service was very good. You can also grab a seat which is overlooking that atrium area as well, which is pretty cool. So there are some nice views on the ship. It isn't all quite bad. It just isn't our favourite Norwegian ship if you haven't found that out yet. Make sure you do check all of our episodes from this ship over the last few weeks as well. Anyway, we're heading to the Shakers Bar now as well, which is sort of a bar which is kind of half corridor, half bar. We found this area to get so busy. We don't know what it is about this ship, but it does feel crowded a lot of the time.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the layout of the ship, if it's the fact that the roofs are quite small, but it just was very cramped. Also, next to the Shakers Bar is a smoker's lounge where you can go for a cigarette, and they also sell cigars in there as well.
Again, quite a traditional and dark feel, as you'll see throughout the ship. It is, again, something that we hope gets improved in the refit coming up. But we're just going to continue walking through. Lots of open areas with kind of walkways and less venues that you find on other ships. I'm not sure what it is about this ship, but there isn't sort of separate venues. It's all very much open and kind of blends into the next area.
I love a twinkly roof, don't you, Ben? Very 1990s,
Very 90s.
2000.
You'll find the barber shop here as well, where you can come and get your hair cut. It's in quite a strange location, really. It's quite random. They've just kind of stuffed things in there. Again, you've got some Beatle-like pictures as well, which goes off the Cavern Club. And some more shops. Yes, absolutely, there are more shops on board. And they didn't really sell that much, if you know what I mean. It was kind of the same thing over and over again. It was a lot of venues that have been used for retail, which, yeah, as you can see.
Heading towards the back of the ship, we're coming up to two more speciality. That means extra charge restaurant. In here we have Moderno's and Cagney's. Now, Moderno's is on the left and Cagney's is on the right. And as I mentioned earlier, you do need to book these, and some of them get very busy, particularly Cagney's is always very busy. Now, we actually ate here a few times. Moderno's is one of our favourite restaurants, and it is a Brazilian churrascaria, and it has some beautiful views at the back of the ship. You can actually see down to the main dining room there.
Yeah, that's the Manhattan room below there, the dining room that we took a look at a few minutes ago, where you can see they have live entertainment. But yes, as David said, we ate here twice. I do love the Brazilian. It's very good food. It's the sort of place where you go and turn over your card. So green when you're hungry and red when you're full. And there's a big salad bar in the middle as well, which is great. But this is the other side now. This is Cagney's Steakhouse. So this is the American steakhouse on board, where you can get all of your steaks and your meats. They serve things like fish as well, some nice appetizers and some lovely desserts. And now we're just heading back into the area just outside of that area as well. And here you can see the elevators, which, like I said, are quite strange. Now we've headed up a few decks to what I like to call the spa, somewhere where we didn't really go on this cruise.
We didn't, but we did use the gym, and it also has a fitness centre. It's actually quite a large one with quite a lot of equipment, and it is complimentary to you. So there isn't an extra charge for the fitness centre, but there is an extra charge for everything else in the spa. And it was quite a big spa, actually. They had quite a big retail space again.
They did, yeah. You can get things like massages and treatments and things like that. Anyway, we've came up to one of the decks now where the cabins are. And as you can see, it is a quite dark ship overall, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a very dark ship and quite cramped. Now we're heading into the buffet on board. On Norwegian, it's called the Garden Cafe. As you can see here, it does get very cramped and it's very busy. It was kind of always like this, to be honest. This is one of the more quieter days. It's open for breakfast, lunch and dinner.
I was so disappointed with the offering on board. Norwegian food is pretty good overall, like we said, but the buffet on this ship was just quite poor. There wasn't much choice, and it was the same every single day. So this was a 10-day cruise, so we're on the ship for quite a while. We like to see differences and changes every day, but it was very, very, very basic for Norwegian Cruise Line and something that we were very disappointed and not used to. So hopefully this is just a temporary measure to save some money and bring it back. But there's lots of seating in here, obviously free beverage stations where you can get several types of juice, coffee, teas and things like that. That's all included in the price if you fancy a free drink in here. But just downstairs from here as well, you can just see peeking into one of the restaurants, the La Cucina restaurant, which is the Italian restaurant. This was open as well during lunch for the buffet, just because it was an overspill area. But this restaurant's quite nice, isn't it? It's got some lovely views at the back of the ship with lots of windows.
Yeah, this definitely had the best views out of all the restaurants. Like Ben said, it is a little bit confusing to get to because you have to go up a deck through the buffet and down a deck to get into here. It's a specialty restaurant, so that means ka-ching, it's an extra charge yet again. And again, you do need to make a reservation. Always quite popular, this one as well. It's one of the harder reservations to get. Down here, they also had another beverage station just for during the day when it was used as overspill seating for that buffet. Honestly, do take a look at this during the day because it was always very quiet and we always found a seat down here.
Weirdly enough, most of the buffet was actually closed off most of the day. Like I said, like this on the right hand side now, there was no food there. So you can see how much they've cut because that used to be all filled with different types of food. Anyway, there's a small outdoor seating area as well, just by the main pool area. So you can choose to eat al fresco outside as well. And there's a little bar as well and a place where you can pick up your towels. But this area, just again, everything felt quite dirty and kind of really used outside. Everything on the ship does need a good old refresh. There's also a small grill and bar area outside as well, serving things like hot dogs and chicken and things like that. And the food out here actually was really good. I think it was better than the actual buffet. So this was always open during lunch and dinner as well. And I think during breakfast for grab and go items. But yeah, we're just making our way into the main pool area outside now. And as you can see, she does look a little bit run down. Look at our videos that we've just done for more information about how grubby she looks. But like I said, again, sorry I keep saying it. Hopefully this is going to be fixed next year in 2025.
So this area is where you'll find the Waves bar, and this is one of the very few bars that are actually in this pool area, so it was always busy. There was also an area for a stage, so they actually did have live entertainment out here. They usually had like a DJ or a band playing. They also did like dance classes and stuff like that, so it can get quite noisy around here.
You'll find two pools, very odd shaped as well. There's kind of an oblong one and a kind of a one with a funny L shape. But yeah, it's a pool area. It gets very, very busy because there isn't actually that many outdoor areas on Norwegian ships in general compared to, say, like Royal Caribbean. In the background there, you can see the slides, which we'll take a look at in just a moment. On our cruise, 2 of the 3 were broken and out of use because there was problems with the engine that they were trying to fix, which was unfortunate because we do like some slides. But yeah, there's lots of sun lounges. You can see the complimentary life jackets there as well for the kids and a few hot tubs as well. If you're wondering why it's so quiet as well, it's because we do tend to film our ship tours very early in the morning just to avoid getting people in. We don't want to sort of get involved with people and film them and sort of get in their way. We want people to enjoy their vacation and we try and film undercover, but those are their slides there as well. And the slides are really good. There's 3 of them. Just unfortunately, a few of them were broken on our cruise, which really sucks.
Now, just next to the slides is a splash area for the smaller children. Again, it all just kind of looked a little bit sad, really. It was always a little bit grubby and a little bit dirty around this area.
And I don't know if you can see just ahead there, lots of parts were kind of like broken off and taped off because they were broken and things like that, which is a bit of a shame. But anyway, we're walking towards the back of the ship in the outdoor area. Now you can see the climbing wall that was very, very grubby indeed and needs a good old refresh. So this is complimentary for use as well. It's open during mostly sea days, but different times throughout the day as well. And it's kind of a big open area with some more seating and some more sun lounges. And here you can see the exit for one of the slides. But I don't know if you can tell, guys, it just looks very grubby in general, really. Everything needs a good paint and a good clean. We need to get our yellow gloves on and start cleaning. Anyway, we're heading towards the back of the ship now.
And next to this area is a video arcade. Now, beware, because these are all an extra charge. There is nothing free in here. It's usually quite expensive as well. So if the kids do have their cruise card, make sure you keep checking to make sure they're not spending all that money in the arcade.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's definitely a top tip. We've heard that happen on other cruises and things like that. But yeah, it's a bit of a waste of space, really. You don't want to have to pay for an arcade. Anyway, at the very back of the ship is the adults only area. It's called Spice H2O. And it's kind of like an amphitheatre with a big screen, a very small pool and 2 hot tubs, so one on either side. It is a nice space, guys, because an adults only area is always great if you want to get away from the kids. You'll also find a bar in here as well, and some of the parties like the White Glow Party and 90s parties and 80s parties are held out here as well. There's a small seating area next to the bar as well, and lots of these areas are smoking areas as well. So if you don't like the smoke, you might want to sit a little bit further away, but at least they are open in the outdoors instead of being in areas where they will impact other people.
And on that big screen, they usually showed a lot of sports like football and American football. So if there is a big match on, they do usually show it on the screen. Now, just above the adults only area is a sports deck. Talk about Sister Act. This reminds me of Sister Act 2, Ben.
Oh, really?
And this is just a big sports court where you can come and play football, basketball, and all the other ball games.
Treat yourself. Now, this area was quite dirty because it is just behind those smoke stacks, and we found lots of kind of horrible black, what's it called? Soot. Black soot everywhere. It got all over our clothes as well and ruined some clothes, but we're just having a look at the side of the ship now. But yeah, we're going to wander around on the slightly higher deck. Lots of sunbeds, like I said. The sunbeds really do need changing, guys. Some of them are very old and falling apart. But we're just getting some general views now of the outdoor areas.
If you're loving this video and you want to see more from us, you can actually see us on the ships and not just hear our voice. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Make sure you do click that subscribe button and check out some of our other videos, like Ben said earlier, where we take you on board this ship and show you around and have a little bit of fun in the meantime as well.
Right, we're going to take the Willy Wonka lovely little elevator up to the chocolate factory. Just kidding, it's the sun deck. Now, this is kind of like a little sun deck with lots of sun lounges, but as you can see, guys, it is so grubby. Oh my gosh, somebody needs to come out here and clean because it was bloody filthy. And it's kind of a bit of a strange area, isn't it, really? It's kind of for sunbeds and sun lounging, but we always found it kind of very much run down. I mean, you can see from the pictures yourself, we don't really have to talk about it. You can see how lacking and run down it looks.
Yeah, it almost looked abandoned, and usually you'd find basically nobody up here. So if you did want to get away from the main pool, this is probably the place to do it.
I don't think that guy was dead on the sun lounger, by the way. I think he was asleep. I mean, it does look a bit crepid in there.
Most of the time, the sunbeds were even put out. That's how dead this area was. It really wasn't used for much, and it is kind of hidden. Now, in the middle, you can actually sneak a peek down into the Haven area. That's the suite-only area, which looks more lovely than our area does.
Yeah, but it was cleaner than ours. Anyway, we hope you enjoyed our quick ship tour of the Norwegian Epic. Please do hit that subscribe button and the like button. So remember to click the link in the description section below or scan the QR code on screen to download June's Journey now for free. And a big thank you to our patrons as well. If you'd like to become a patron, you support us to make honest, unbiased and funny entertainment hopefully for you guys. And in return, we give you lots like extra behind the scenes episodes, extra episodes from our cruise adventures, something that we've really started recently. So you get to see our behind the scenes life at home and on cruises. We do a monthly Zoom call as well. And you get our videos ad free and with early access. So you get to see them before anybody else. So I guess that's it till next time. Happy cruising.